National Signing Day almost in the books for 2013. Here to discuss the top headlines of the day, we bring back Fox Sports Next national recruiting analyst Alan True. Alan, let's start at the top. Ohio State began the day number 2. End of the day, they're going to have the number 1 recruiting class. But aside from them for just a moment, give us another team that in 4 years from now will be saying we didn't see that one coming.
Well, I think the position that was most able to elevate a team to that point is the quarterback position. And when you look at the top 2 quarterbacks in the country, Max Brown to USC, Christian Hackenberg to Penn State, neither of those teams finished in the top 10 in the recruiting rankings. But if those guys turn out and live up to their 5-star status, I think you could see them really push those teams in a direction where you say, those guys weren't high in the recruiting rankings. They had some things going on. Obviously, both of them have sanctions to deal with, low scholarship numbers, but I think both Hackenberg and Brown can make USC and Penn State relevant.
Well, Alan, maybe the recruiter of the year should be Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss. The Rebels grabbing the 9th best class, which is impressive until you consider they're 5th in the SEC, with the exception of Robert Kimdichie, whose brother is also on the Rebels team already. Why Ole Miss? Why are recruits suddenly intrigued by what's going on there in Oxford?
Well, I think recruiting is a momentum game, and when you look at some of the guys they've brought in, and even the guys they've been in on for months now, you've heard Kimdichie possibly going down to Oxford. Other recruits see that. Other recruits see 5-star wide receiver Laquan Treadwell is committed. They see 5-star offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil is considering Mississippi, and I think kids start to wonder, hey, what am I missing out on? And that gets kids down there on visits. That gets kids interested in those schools, and those guys do their part by recruiting other recruits on Twitter and other social networks.
All right, Alan, so let's wrap up the day for us here. What are some of the storylines that really grabbed your attention today?
You have to start at the top. You mentioned it, Ohio State leapfrogs Michigan and becomes the number 1 class in the country. Once again, Urban Meyer closes very well. Then you have the bizarre Alex Collins' mother running off with his letters of intent. Every year you think you know everything, and then something strange like that happens on National Signing Day. Also, UCLA jumping from lower in the top 10 to number 4, and then people always wondered, how come the national champs, Alabama, are so low in your rankings? They're at 8 or 9 coming into the day. Well, they closed well. They finish at number 3, possibly even higher if a couple of things break their way yet today.
Wow, so and they've loaded up on running backs down there in Alabama. All right, Alan True, thanks very much, and all your hard work coming to one day here on National Signing Day. We appreciate it. To see which players are the biggest sleepers and which ones are the biggest risks, check out our video up on the website right here on CampusInsiders.com.